So the next command we are going to see here is sweep boss and sweep cut. For that I have made one sketch here. We'll go in features and sweep boss command. Select the feature. Now there are two options given here. First one is sketch profile and another one is circular profile. Suppose if you are going to draw any cross section that is not in circular shape, then you can go for sketch profile. And if you are going to draw any part which is having a cross section of circular profile, then you can directly go for circular profile option here. So I want to make this part in a cross section which is circular. So that's why I'm going to select here circular profile. Now here it will ask you path. So I'll select this path. And then you have to provide one diameter here as a cross section. So for diameter, I am going to give here the value as 100 mm diameter. So you can see this diameter is being swept along this part. I'll say it okay. And now the swept boss has been completed by circular cross section. You can change and manage the diameter after double clicking the part. Here it will show the diameter. If you want to change the diameter, just double click on the part and put up the changed value here. I'll say it 70 now and then say it update. This cross section is changed from 100 diameter to 70 mm diameter. Now for sweep cut, again we will go for sweep cut feature in features tab. Select the sweep cut command. Again I want to cut the cross section in circular shape, so I'll go for circular profile. Here you have to show the path. So I'll show the earlier path only which we have used for sweep boss command here. That path I will get in model tree. So I'll go in model tree and expand this sweep command by clicking on drop down menu here. Select the sketch as a path and then provide the diameter here. I'll say this diameter as 20 mm or I'll say it as 50 mm diameter. So you can see one profile has been cut from the part that is of diameter 50, and the path we have used here was the earlier path only that we have used for sweep boss command. Just you have to go in model tree, expand the sweep boss command by drop down menu and select the sketch for the path. Say it okay. And now you can see here sweep cut is been made along the path from the first end till the last end. We will change the transparency here. We will go in display style and select the command as hidden lines visible here. You can see the internal cut is shown in hidden lines here. It was started from the starting phase and finished at the end phase. So this was sweep boss and sweep cut in a simple way. We have chosen circular option there on both sweep boss and sweep cut. We have not selected yet the sketch profile option. Next we will see the sketch profile option here. I have deleted the earlier sweep boss and sweep cut command. We will select the sweep boss feature again, but before selecting we need to make one perpendicular sketch here. For that we will require one reference plane. I select the plane option, and in first reference we will select this line and second reference we will select the point. So one plane will be appearing there as perpendicular to this profile. I'll say it okay. Now we'll activate this plane and make one cross section here as rectangular. So I'll select center rectangle here. You can go for any shape required. I am selecting one rectangle. Say this value as 60 mm and this other length as 100 mm. We will say it 120. After defining the sketch, we will exit the sketch, hide the plane and again go for sweep boss command. So in sweep boss command, earlier we have used circular profile and now we are going to use sketch profile, as we have made one sketch here that is not circular in cross section. So for selecting the profile, click on this box and then select the profile, and then the second selection will be the path. And now you can see this profile is being swept along this path. I'll say it okay. Next we will go for sweep cut using sketch profile. For that I am not going to take any plane, as we are having this flat face now. We will select this face as a plane and then activate the sketch on this face. We will make one profile. I'll take this time a slot option. I'll take center point slot. We will define this slot by giving center to center distance first and then applying one radius at any end. Also define the position of this slot here. So I'll take it to 50 mm. And now I will apply one relation also so as to constrain the sketch. Now as this slot is completely defined, we will go for sweep cut using sketch profile. For that we will select the feature sweep cut here. We need to exit the sketch if it is not showing the sweep cut option here. We will exit the sketch and then go for swept cut option. And now in swept cut, we are having sketch profile and path option given here. I'll select this profile as a slot, and for the path again we will do the same thing. We will expand this model tree and use the path of the swept boss command which was made earlier. For that we have to open this drop down menu, select the path here. I have selected the earlier path only for swept cut again, which was used for swept boss command. Say it OK, and now the swept cut feature has been completed here. You can see this cut was made from starting to the end portion. We will change the display style here and say hidden lines visible. Make this part normal, and by hidden lines you can see the swept cut feature again. So we will take one more example here. For that I have made one part and one path is been made tangent to the cylinder. So we will go for swept boss command. Select the swept boss option here, and in swept boss I will select sketch profile option. For profile I will show this face, and for path I will go with this path. You can see material is been added according to the shape of the path. I will say it OK, and this swept boss has been completed here. This cross section has been swept according to the path here. Similar way for swept cut, on this part, on the front face I have drawn one spline here. I'll exit this sketch, and perpendicular to this point means on this face I'll say it sketch again. So on this face I'll draw one cross section perpendicular to this point and make it normal. Then go for center rectangle. I'll provide the values here 18 by 20. Now as this profile is not connected to this line, I have to give relation here. For that I'll select the center point of the rectangle and this line's end point. You can also make it coincide here. And now you are having path as well as profile. So we will exit the sketch and go for swept cut. In selection of swept cut, here you have to select the sketch and other you have to select this spline here and then say it OK. You can see one rectangular cross section been cut in the part. So this was swept cut, for which we have needed one path and one profile. And along the path, the cross section was cut in a rectangular shape. This was another example to make these kinds of cuts. So now by using swept command, we will make one spring here. So to start with spring, I will go for top plane, sketch the plane and draw one circle here. I will make this circle diameter as 35. Then we have to go in features and then select curves. Here it will give the option helix and spiral. So for making springs, you have to select the option from features, that is curves and helix and spiral. Select helix and spiral. Here three conditions will be given. First one will be pitch and revolution. Second will be height and revolution, and third will be height and pitch. Spiral, it will not create an helix, it will create a different shape. So we will see only these three conditions first, that is pitch revolution, height revolution and height pitch for making any helix. So I'll go for pitch and revolution here. So in pitch and revolution, as the name suggests, you have to give the pitch value and number of revolutions you required. So I'll give the pitch value here as 10 and the number of revolutions I'll require is 20. So one curve has been made by using pitch and revolution, in which pitch is of 10 mm. Pitch means the center to center distance of a leaf. From one leaf to the other leaf, the center to center distance will be the pitch value, that is 10 mm. And number of revolutions means how much times it revolved to make this height. So that is 20. The number of revolutions was 20. So again we can change the pitch here. I'll say this pitch as 5 mm only. And now you can see this curve is been made by pitch 5 and number of revolutions here 20. I'll say it OK. So in blue color you can see one helix has been made as a curve. Now we will go for swept boss command and select the circular profile command. As the cross section of spring is always circular in section, that's why we are going to select circular profile option. It will directly give the diameter here. You just need to select the path. But before giving path, I'll set the diameter first. As we were having pitch of 5 mm, I'll set this diameter as 3.5 and then select the path. Now one cross-sectional diameter of 3.5 has been applied on the path and the spring is been made here. I'll say it okay. Now I will hide this helix and spiral shown in blue color. So in model tree I'll select the helix and spiral and then hide the command. And here you can see this spring has been completed with pitch of 5 mm. Pitch was the distance from one leaf to second leaf, the center to center distance. Now we will see the second condition in helix and spiral. For that I'll delete this swap command and again we will go for helix and edit feature. Now after editing the feature, the second condition here given is height and revolution. So in this we have to maintain two values here, that is height and number of revolutions. So I'll go with height as 80 mm and number of revolutions as 15. Here you don't need to give any pitch value. The pitch will automatically will be defined as we define height and revolution. I'll say it okay. I'll show this sketch. I'll show this helix and spiral here. Again go for sweep command. Select circular profile and select the path. We'll keep the diameter here as 3 mm and then say it okay. So in second condition, that was height and revolution, there was no need to maintain the pitch. Just we have to give two values, that is height and revolution, which will automatically get maintained. These three conditions are given. It is because when you get the input, you may get it as pitch and revolution, you may get height and revolution, or you may get height and pitch value. From these three conditions, you may get any one condition so as to make this spring. So I have taken height and revolution, pitch and revolution, and now we will go for height and pitch. Here we do not need any revolution value, we just need height and pitch value here. So I select height and pitch. Here the height is given as 80 and pitch is given as 4 mm. There are two more parameters given here, that is start angle and whether you have to make spring clockwise or counterclockwise. So here the angle, we can see start angle, it is given as 225 degrees. That's why it's starting from this point. Suppose I say this angle as 0 degree. At this position it is taking 0 degrees. I'll put the angle here 90 degrees. Here it is moving to 90 degrees. I say 180. So from 0 to 180, I'll say 270 degrees. It will come on this position and again 0. It will start from the initial position. So this was start angle. If you want to change the position from clockwise to counterclockwise, then you can select the counterclockwise option here. You can see here the change is being occurred. I said clockwise again counterclockwise. Now suppose if I want to make this spring taper or if I want to give angle to this spring. Now it is coming straight. So I'll provide one taper helix angle. I'll select the option from left side as taper helix. Suppose I say 3 degrees only and in inner side. So if I opt this option taper outward, it will by default come at inner side at 3 degrees inclination. Again I want to make it outer side, then I'll put on this option here taper outward. I'll say 5 degrees and if I want it invert, then again I'll put off this option. The angle will come inner sides and the spring will be completed. I'll say it okay. Again I'll hide this helix here. Now this is ideal spring, but if you want to rest it on some part, then it must have any resting area. Then it must have a resting area here. So for that I'll take one plane here, sketch the plane. I'll draw one corner rectangle here. Features, extrude, cut. I'll make this cut on through all both sides and say it okay. So now you are having a cross section which is having larger area so as to rest on any part. Same I'll do it for bottom side also, or we can do both cuts in similar sketch. I'll make one rectangle in bottom side also here. Then again features, and then just you need to do is exit this sketch. It will automatically get updated here. Now you can see it is coming flat at bottom side and top side so as to provide proper resting on any part. So this was spring command by using sweep boss. If I want to increase the pitch here, again I will go for helix, edit feature, and you can increase the pitch value. I'll say it as 6 mm here and then okay. Now this pitch value is increased. You can see the gap between each leaf is been increased here. So this was spring command by using sweep boss and sweep cut. Now after completing the helix command, we will see how to make threads on the bolts for any part. So for that I'll make one bolt here. Say control new part. I'll select the front plane here and start with this sketch. I'll draw one corner rectangle, features and revolve boss. Select the axis of revolution. I'll say it 360 degrees here and say it okay. Suppose if I want to change the feature diameter, I'll double click on the part and I'll change the radius here. I'll say 10 mm so as to make this diameter 20. But the change is not applied, so I'll say it rebuilt here. Now the change has been applied for the diameter. Next, we will select the face and say sketch again. And after saying sketch, I'll say this face and convert entities. So whenever you select the face and convert the entities, all the edges connected to face will be converted into sketch. So I am getting one circle sketch here, one circular sketch. I'll use this sketch for making helix here so as to make the pitch of the thread. Now go to features, select the curves and helix and spiral. I'll reverse the direction. For reversing you have the option here, reverse direction. And now the helix has been appeared here. You just need to put the kind of condition you require. So you can go for pitch revolution, height revolution or height and pitch. I'll consider height and pitch here. So I'll take the height as 60 mm and the pitch I'll consider here is 4 mm. I am taking the start angle as 0. Then again I'll select the right plane as it was passing from the helix starting point. That's why I'm selecting right plane here. Whichever plane that passes through the starting point of the helix, that should be made sketch so as to make the profile for the cross section. I'll draw one triangular profile here. I'll make one line, center line. This line is made just to make these two sides symmetric with the center line. So I'll select both the sides with the line. All the three lines should be selected and then make them symmetric here. We'll also provide the depth of cut. So I'll take this depth as 3 mm and this value as 2.5. Now I'll select this point and this helix. After selection of point and helix, I'll go for relation here. I select the relation here as pierce. I have not taken coincide relation. So suppose there are two sketches that are needed to be connected but are in different planes, then we need to select for pierce relation. After going for pierce relation, now the sketch is positioned well on the helix. I'll exit this sketch here and again we will continue with swept cut command. After selecting swept cut, now you need to select sketch profile option. We can't select circular profile as the cross section is not circular here. That's why we are going for sketch profile. Now in sketch profile, first it is asking for profile. So I'll select the triangle here. Then it will ask for path. So I show this helix as a path. So now path and profile both are being shown. I'll say it OK. And now you can see your threads are made. If I want to edit this depth of the cut, so I'll go for cut swept. Select this sketch and edit this sketch. We can adjust the depth here by changing this value. I'll say 2.5 only and this size as 2.2 only. Then exit this sketch and again you will get this threads completed. So in this way you can make threads. I have made a triangular cut thread. You can go for trapezoidal shape. You can also make square cut threads or round threads. Whatever thread profile you want, you can make it on this cross section. And that cross-sectional shape will be appeared as a thread profile here. I'll make this head also here. I'll make one hexagon. I'll say one diameter. I'll say it as 30. Provide one relation so as to lock the positions. Then go for extrude. I'll say it 15 mm and then say OK. So for making the fillet around the head, I'll select one plane which is crossing the largest cross-sectional distance. So it is not right plane. I'll select front plane here, as it is passing from this vertex point to the opposite side vertex point. And this point to point distance is the largest distance according to the cross section. I'll select front plane and say sketch. Make one profile here by 3-point arc for making the radius. Close this profile by 2 lines. Provide one radius. I'll say this as 5 radius. And then make tangency of line and arc. We'll change the value. I'll say 3 mm only now. And now we will on the temporary axis so as to make the revolve cut. We are not using fillet command here. We are making this upper head fillet by using revolve cut. Again in features, say features and revolve cut. I'll show this axis, temporary axis. And then the profile will be rotated and cut along the axis. I'll say it OK. Again for hiding this axis, I'll go in hide and show items and off the temporary axis here. So here this bolt is completed with a thread profile by using swept command, as well as the bolt head is filleted by using revolve cut command. So this was swept cut, and this way you can make threads by using swept cut command. You just need one cross sectional profile and one path along the shaft so as to make the threads. So for further features, we will continue in next session. For today, I'll say thank you and please do like, share and subscribe.